Real talk, the metaphor messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies. Legend in the game, I think I found this.
What's going on, buddy? What's going on, everybody? Slide on the headphones. It's time for the playlist. And of course, I am Dead on Dave. Joining me as always is the Mecca of Morning Light, the one, the only, the perpetually blazed Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. Yes. What's going on, partner?
Yo, what's up, Dave?
Man, just living life on another day, you know? It's just keep going, listen to music, see what's going on in the life. Keep grinding.
I feel that, bro. Me too, bro. I'm feeling pretty good right now, man. I'm not going to lie.
And probably not for the reson why everybody's assuming. Because we're high on music tonight, baby. I was going to try and spin it to like, we're high on the music. We're all here. Yep. No, it's not exactly true. It's not 100% accurate, but you know what? That's for you to decide at home. But still. So let me ask you, man, we got to start the show the same way you always start the show. What are you listening to this week?
Oh, man. Where do I begin, man? So I've been like kind of like celebrating and stuff like that. I've been in a really good mood. So I've been trying to listen to stuff that just gets me like even more motivated and stuff. So I was listening to a lot of like, what did I listen to today? So there's a couple like songs with like really good messages, I think, because that's what like just I'm just been working on my music lately. I'm working on like messages and celebration and just so there's a song by Marina and the Diamonds. It's called Savages. It's a really good message in that song. It's really dope. It has a real cool beat where you can kind of get up and dance and vibe to.
Sounds like a Jake Paul thing. Savages.
No. But it's way better than Jake Paul.
Anything's way better than fucking Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really good song. You guys check it out. It's Marina and the Diamonds. It's called Savages. And then another song I've been listening to is by my boy Nas. I don't know if you guys know this. Really big hip hop artist. I'm a big fan of Nas. And he has a song called Get Down. And it has a real funky 70s beat kinda. And it's like real cool and shit like that. It's got a cool vibe. And Nas is a great lyricist, rapper. He really knows how to put a story together. And this is called Get Down. It's a great story, and it has a good message in it too. So it's fucking dope. Like that's my favorite. Nas is one of my favorite artists, hip hop artists, top 5, and that's one of my top 5 songs of his. So that's how good it is. So you guys check it out. Nostradamus, Nas. It's called Get Down. And then the last one I've been playing, and I think you'll understand why in a little bit, Dave. But
let me take a guess. But no, go ahead.
I've been listening to my favorite Michael Jackson song, I think, of all time. And it's called All I Want to Say Is That They Don't Really Care About Us.
Oh, okay. You know what? If I had to guess, that would have been your favorite song by Michael Jackson. No, because you're all about message and you talk a lot about politics, but not without talking about politics. A lot of it has to do with media, which a lot of people feel that song had to do with. So that actually makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It's your favorite song.
Well, I mean that's just. I mean, if you really listen to what he's saying, dude, it's just so deep. And I tend to believe what he was saying is they don't care about us, man. And I'm all about the people. I mean, if you can't tell, that's what I rap about. I rap about the people and shit like that. And so I just want to see but this message in that song was just so. And in the video also, like
the video's intense. The video's real intense. Yeah,
it's so real, dude. It's so cultural. You know what I mean? That's all. Michael Jackson, like we'll get into this later, but people, you can see why this is he's probably my favorite artist of all time. It's because that video is so cultural. It's got people in Russia and Africa and America and I love being around different groups of people, man. You know what I mean? So I think everybody can relate. Who can't relate to that song, man? So
I don't think there is anybody.
That's what I've been listening to, guys.
Yeah, I've had a very, very strange week musically. I've been going into WWE music like hard, like real hard, like really, really hard. I'm not even kidding. Like sick. I'm like converting people. Like I got friends that I've been talking to and stuff that are not into wrestling. I'm like, how do I start as a wrestling guy? And you know this to be true. whenever I have conversations with people who I know are not wrestling fans, I try to find common ground. So if I know somebody is like really into music, well, it just so happens wrestling's got some of the best music out there sometimes. So like,
it does.
I start throwing Metalingus, I start throwing like Close Your Eyes, you know, the original Christian freaking song, all these things that I'm just throwing heavy. So that's what I've been listening to. The big three that I was listening to, aside from my last one that I'll talk about at the end, was Metalingus. I probably listened to 17 times this week, 3 times today. Because that song is just amazing.
Yeah, it's a dope song.
Close Your Eyes, the original girl version. I can't remember the name of the band who did the original. Yeah, it's such a good song. I hate the remade one with the dude. Go! I hate that. But I like the original.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like the remade one. I like the one with the women, though. The women kill that song. It's so, so good. And then one of my favorites, my guilty pleasure, Kane's The Chemical Romance song. It's so good.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
really?
My Chemical Romance they did a version of it. It's so good. It's just I get all kinds of crazy with it every time I listen to it. It's really, really good because it has the exact same and then it just comes in and it's just I'm just like I love it. So I've been listening to that all week, and of course, because there's a theme to this week episode, of course. So I've been doing a little bit of homework, and I have been absolutely just putting Michael Jackson on replay. And I was like, so prepping for this, listening to all the songs that I've been listening to, there was one that kept going, and oddly enough, it's not a solo song. I've been listening to I'll Be There like you wouldn't fucking believe. I love the Jackson 5. There was something about, and I'm going to talk about them because I do love the Jackson 5. So that's something we will talk about throughout the course of the show. But I'll Be There is such a good song. It's just, it's a flat out good song.
Yeah, it is.
Like when you listen to it, it's mellow, it's chill. And then when you think about it, it's like a 9-year-old boy singing it. It just kind of fucking, it's crazy. It's just a great song.
And he sang it so beautifully too, didn't he?
So
oh my God.
He was so good.
Yeah.
And then if you've ever watched any of the story about the Jacksons and everything that happened, how they came, and there's been a few different documentaries, all of them kind of terrifying. All of them a little terrifying. I can't even imagine. Like there were the big one, the one that was made that everyone talks about, where he sings Ben and everything to the rat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a scene in there where they go up against like the Supremes at one point and shit. It's like in a competition, a song, and they lose to them. And it's just like can you imagine the type of pressure at that period of time with that type of father, with that type of family?
Their dad was fucking mean, man.
I mean, I can't even to think that any of them turned out okay, let alone one the greatest superstar in the history of music, and then one pretty fucking great female musician in her own goddamn right, and Janet. It's pretty amazing. So I mean, that family is
it really is
incredibly fascinating to me. Fascinating.
It's crazy, though. Like, and then to be honest, like I understand, like I'm not a parent, but like I can understand a parent really wanting to have their kid be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, there's limits, bro.
Oh God,
there's limits.
Well, you see this all the time, like with Tiger Woods' dad and Venus and Serena Williams' father. All of these people that pushed their children, and while they all seem to have had some sort of issues, they were all incredibly successful and arguably the best at what they did, including but Michael Jordan's dad. Michael Jordan's dad, same fucking deal. A little bit different relationship, but same type of mentality as grind. Yep. So there's a lot to be said. So, okay. So obviously this is going to be the Michael Jackson Super Show that everybody needs to hear, because who's more influential than Michael Jackson? There's very few people, especially it didn't come from the 50s. You know, he was later on. Even you want to talk about the Jackson 5 stuff, that's great, all and dandy. But I mean, the crux of his stuff came in the 80s, in the 90s.
Yeah.
And
but I mean, this guy spanned from the 70s to early 2000s, man. That's 40 fucking years, Dave. 40 as a musician. I can't even think, like, from the 70s to early 40 years, man. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing, dude. That's amazing.
It's, you know, it's just this beautiful story. It's tragic at times. And here's the thing. We're not going to be talking about all the stuff that may or may not have happened. That's what this is not what the show is about. So if you have those questions when we take callers, just leave them in your fucking room because we ain't talking about it. This is not about any of the things. We're talking about the music. What he did as an artist. Because he inspired everybody. He really did. Yeah,
seriously.
So where do you want to begin this journey, man? I mean, there's so much. What does Michael mean to you? Let's start there.
Man, Okay, I mean, like I said before, I honestly, in my opinion, I think Michael Jackson is overall the greatest musician of all time.
Right.
And I mean, I really feel like that. I mean, of course you had the greats. I mean, you've had Elvis, you've had Hendrix, you have this guy even worked with Eddie Van Halen, who I think is probably one of the greatest guitarists ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
People forget that Michael Jackson did a fucking a thing with him. I mean, I just think he's the greatest of all time. And I mean, if you look at it, not only numbers wise, but song wise, I mean, he owns the Thriller CD is the most selling CD in any genre ever. That says a lot right there. That in every genre, he has the #1 CD I've ever. And I listen to a lot of music, and there's a lot of great music out there. Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about. I mean, that's amazing. And it's held up since the '80s.
That's
like
the
nobody's ever been able to.
That's the thing. That's the phrase right there. His music has held up from the '70s to today. There's you hear songs get remixed. Let me ask you this: how many Michael Jackson songs have you heard remixed? How many Michael Jackson songs have you heard re-released? Like with a new artist, I'm going to do this better. You don't hear it like you do with other artists because people are afraid to touch those songs because they still hold up today. Can you imagine if somebody's like, I'm going to redo Thriller and I'm going to put it. No, you're not. You're not. Maybe it's a goof.
No, you're not be doing that. You know what I mean, Dave? You know what I mean? Especially as a hip hop artist, we do a lot of samples.
Yeah.
You know how many samples I've heard from Michael Jackson?
Oh God,
yeah, everything. I mean, my goodness, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, people have taken it's amazing. So, like I said, I mean, this dude. I mean, and then another thing is not his. Let's just go over it. His voice is definitely top 10. That's opinionated who has the best voice, but I know for a fact that's in my eyes that's top 10.
Top 5. I'd go even farther. I'd go farther. Top 5 for voice wise.
Yeah, top 5, and I'm just talking about his voice.
Yeah,
his dancing skills. Nobody touches Michael Jackson with dancing.
I agree with that.
I have not seen anybody touch him. I mean, there's people who the MTV Awards and the BET Awards, they do a Usher and guys that are like really dope. Chris Brown, they've given tribute to Michael Jackson and taken his dance moves. That originated from Michael Jackson. So if you have somebody who's in the top 5 with their voice, who I think's in #1 in dancing, his videos. You gotta understand, and I get a lot of my influence from his video. Oh, sure. At the time, there was nobody doing shit like that. This guy was telling Martin Scorsese did his fucking Bad video, dude. Like directed it. People forget that. Do you know? Especially back then, he was doing movies.
Oh yeah,
damn near doing movies and fucking with his music. And that's kind of what I try to do when I do songs like One Verse or Notice Me when I'm out in the desert fighting people. That's from Michael Jackson, man.
Yeah. He told stories.
He changed the game with that. Nobody was doing videos like that. That was a fucking movie, man.
Yep. He told stories. He took you on journeys. I mean, look.
A journey.
The easiest one to talk about is Thriller. It's the easiest one to talk about because it's the most on the nose. Nobody had ever seen anything like that. When Thriller came out, everyone was listening to the album. When the video came out, he had fucking Vincent Price do the voiceover.
Yeah.
I mean, he spared no expense. They used the best special effects guys in Hollywood. The zombies that they used were Hollywood quality. Everything about it was just bam on the point. And they shot different movies within this music video, starting with the old 50s style werewolf story that they do in the theater. It's so special. It's so unique. And Jay just said, and I think she said it perfectly, without Michael Jackson, MTV might not become what MTV became.
Yeah, no,
that might be true. That very well could be true.
Yeah.
And he just continued to do it. I mean, like even going into the 90s where you can make the argument that maybe he lost some of his steam for a multitude of different reasons. I remember
I don't even know that, man. In the 90s he had,
middle
he
90s.
had so many Yeah, maybe but he, like even his '90s music was incredible. Like I said, my favorite song is from the '90s.
Yeah.
They Don't Care About Us is from '92.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I remember
it's just it expands.
I remember what really stood out to me was that he had gone away for a while and he hadn't put out music in a while. And then he came out with Remember the Time. And that music video was the first one that I had seen in a long time that he went back to that same old. Eddie Murphy was in that music video.
Yeah, I know. That was...
Who he was friends with. Crazy. It's
I'm pretty sure Magic Johnson was in that video.
Yes, too. He was. Yes, he was. He was a guard. Yeah. He was an
How fucking crazy is that? That's crazy, right?
Everybody wanted a piece. Everybody wanted a piece. Everybody wanted to work with him. Everybody wanted to be associated with him until they didn't. And it's just, it's pretty, to me, as a kid growing up in that era, I remember the Super Bowl performance, the halftime performance, where he stood on stage for 3 minutes and just stood there. Just stood there.
My favorite performance ever.
It's one iconic moment after another. Does anybody in music have as many iconic moments as Michael Jackson?
No, and that's the thing. If you go from the movie, then you got to talk about his the Billie Jean performance that everybody plays. Is when he brought out the glove and the moonwalk the first time he did it
on the Grammys.
That is crazy. If you ever seen that performance, you're talking to. I've been on stage a lot, and the effort he had to put out, because it's a whole different thing, guys, from doing music and then when you're on stage doing it. It's hot. It's a lot of people. You get it's nerves. The performance he gave. I mean, that dude just was all about it, bro.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so now you've got the voice. You can dance, the videos, the performance. I mean, what could, come on, man.
There's not a better combination. And here's the thing, what people might not know about Michael Jackson as well, aside from the music stuff that he did, as far as production-wise, he has patents in his name about things on stage. The levitating, where he goes forward. Everybody's always trying to figure, after he died, the patent got released. Now everybody knows exactly how that move was done. That was invented by Michael fucking Jackson. He actually got it from magicians. He got it from magicians, but he patented it.
That is crazy. That's still one of my favorite moves, Smooth Criminal.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my. What a great video, dude. This dude. You guys got to think. This dude had a video game after him.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I know people forget. I used to play when I was on Sega Genesis. He had the criminal hat. He would throw his hat around, go hee hee, and all that.
Remember, that would be the sound. He would throw that. Yeah, it was so amazing. It was amazing. By the way, I don't think that video game was able to be beaten. I think that it had a glitch in it where it was one of those games in the arcade, that could not be finished, the arcade version, and it had to be recalled. If I remember correctly about it, because there was some video game controversy. Yeah, because you could only get past certain. That game was difficult. That game was maddeningly difficult. Like, how the fuck do I get him to turn into a car? I can't remember. Fuck.
Never beat that.
Yeah.
I never beat it. We played it for a while and then we just stopped.
And I'm glad that you brought up. I'm glad you brought up the game, because that's the one thing that I want to talk, aside from the music. And I'm sure we're going to get into our favorite songs and all that. The thing I want to talk about, my Michael Jackson thing, the thing that I've watched at least 10 times a year since I was 15. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. And I'm not talking about
Moonwalker. I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not talking about just the movie either. The movie we could talk about. I'm talking about the lead up to the movie. The lead up to the movie is about 20 minutes of music videos jammed into a compilation where they do a variation of Bad where it's all kids, which is hilarious. It's so well done. He does animated crossovers with a rabbit. A police and a police officer, a rabbit.
Yeah, he fucking did. Yeah. Oh, man,
he runs away from paparazzi, and they did all kinds of iconic pop culture references, like the fat guys on the motorcycles. They did. That was when they debuted "Leave Me Alone," the full carnival version of "Leave Me Alone," where he's tied down. I mean, it's just one thing after another. That is a powerhouse of musical fucking genius just flowing at you. And they do it in a way and they tell it in a story that makes sense without just being a series of music videos. And then they get to Moonwalker. Single-handedly, the most bizarre fucking movie ever made.
Yeah,
there is nothing weirder. Let's think about this for a second. Moonwalker is about he's about a 30, it's about a mid-30s, early 30s black man hanging around with 3 children, aged 9 to 12-ish, a blonde-haired little white girl, a kid, a little black child who was obviously just trying to be like Michael, and then somebody else who I can't remember because he was fucking boring. And then somehow they go into a cave, and then the kids get kidnapped. And then Joe Pesci's like this drug lord who wants to fucking drug all the kids. He wants to like drug all the kids in the world. And then Michael Jackson turns into a motherfucking car, and all the kids get inside Michael Jackson. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
It is weird. Ever. It's weird as fuck, bro.
But it's amazing. And it's so entertaining and I could not tell you what the point of that movie really was. Could not. Doesn't matter.
And that's how good he was. You saw the movie, you're like, you know what? It was Michael Jackson. I don't care.
Right.
Fuck it.
It's so entertaining. Joe Pesci goes, like, even for Joe Pesci, he goes crazy in this movie. He's like pulling this little girl by the fucking hair. He's like, we're gonna give you all the fucking drugs. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my goodness.
And he had like stormtroopers under his command and shit. And the stormtroopers are just shooting stuff up. And then Michael's turned into, apparently he was an alien the whole fucking time. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And it's so much fun.
It's great. Who hasn't seen it, Dave? Who hasn't seen Moonwalker?
And then it even spun off with a Disney ride, Captain Neo. I mean, I remember going to that Universal Studios. Captain fucking Neo. It was a whole goddamn day. It's discontinued now. Yeah. It was this whole thing that he did, and he was starred in it. It was Disneyland or Disney World. I think Disneyland. And Captain Neo was this big fucking production. It was like a motion ride. Michael was he everywhere. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So that's my big thing. In fact, I watched it today. I watched Moonwalker today. I watch it at least a few times a year. It's one of my favorite things to watch, and that's my big Michael Jackson thing. Now, I didn't mean to talk for as long as I did.
Bro, I understand. It's fucking Mike, bro.
I get giddy.
Everybody knows Mike. There's so much you could talk about, dude. Let's not forget the fat guys. I think this is what I'm most impressed about with Michael Jackson is that this dude made it as a black guy and a white woman. I'm not even joking. That's how dope he is, bro.
Yes,
that's how dope his music was. He could do both. He could be a black guy and you love him, and he could be a white woman and you still love him. Yeah. We was like, you know what? I don't care. Fuck it, Mike. Go ahead.
There were a lot of things said about Michael Jackson, and yet people didn't give a shit. Most people, when his music came,
Dave, they made a statue of him.
Yeah,
they made a statue of him. I mean, he has statues. Dude, when your music is that good to where, I mean, he could do no wrong. I know people, Mike can't do no wrong, man.
Yeah, like the Dave Chappelle skit. That one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life, where Dave Chappelle was on. He was doing like a juror. He was being a juror, and he had to be a juror for the Michael Jackson trial. And he goes, "Do you think Michael Jackson touched those kids?" He goes, "No, man. Michael Jackson did Thriller." Yeah. And honestly, that's how Brothers in the Hood, and especially in the 90s, fucking looked at it. It's just reality, man. It's just like, I've heard that very fucking thing uttered in barbershops.
I've heard that 1,000 times.
Heard it.
Mike did Thriller.
No, he didn't rape them kids. Mike did Thriller. And then, of course, the big take home line was, "Would you leave your kids with them?" Fuck no. Oh
no, but he did Thriller.
But that notwithstanding, it's just like, you're right. He really couldn't do no wrong as far as, if you loved his music and you were inspired by it, which almost everybody was, especially musicians. It's not about anything else, because when you pop on Billie Jean, when you throw in Bad, when you put on one of the most iconic songs of all time, especially related to gang violence, in Beat It, which we haven't even talked about yet.
I mean, my goodness. Dave, matter of fact, let's just talk about Michael Jackson's messages in his songs.
Oh, though. God.
I'm a big fan of messages. I try to do that in my music. I'm a big fan of messages. What message are you sending to those? You know what I mean? A concept. What are you sending to people when they're listening to it? You know what I mean? And I really think that he tried to transcend the way it was back then. I mean, one of my favorite songs ever is "It Doesn't Matter If You're Black or White."
Yeah.
And people are like, dude, he brought hip hop in that. He had some rock going on in there, bro. It was for everybody. Michael Jackson's music was for everybody.
Everybody. He had Macaulay Culkin do a freestyle now.
He had Macaulay fucking Culkin. You know, that guy.
Home Alone, yeah.
Yeah, the guys in there rap. I mean, it was so cool, dude. And then what he's saying, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, dude. I totally get that, bro. I love that message. I think he really tried to like bring people together with his music.
Right. And for a time, at the beginning, it wasn't even about that too, because Joe Jackson, you know, the patriarch of the Jackson family, he was a musician himself. All he wanted was to just kind of just make music, just make good music.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to make it. That's all it was. You know, and then like you heard that there was no messages in early Jackson 5 music. I mean, Tweedledee.
No, they just sound really good.
No, it was just good music. And then Michael started out that way with Rock With You. When he busted on the scene with fucking Rock With You, there was no message in Rock With You. He just wanted to rock with you. And then quickly, as it fucking started, it all ended when he fucking threw out Beat It, because nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. Wesley Snipes is in that music video, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he is. Dude,
you can't see him because he's the darkest brother to ever live, but he's there.
Yeah, he is, dude. I love that video too. It's fucking crazy. And then he really tried to talk about gang violence. You know what's funny though? Like, you see these hardcore looking dudes, these tough looking white guys, and then Michael Jackson's right there, and he's like, "Come on, let's get him, guys." I'm like, that's what I loved about him. He didn't care. Like, I'm sure he knew he looked kind of out of place, but I was like, you know what? I feel him, bro. Like, fuck it.
You know how they fixed it?
He did that with all his videos.
They fixed it by having them all dance. They remember the dance fight that they did, and it was really, and those are real gangsters, by the way. That was not bullshit. Those are some real motherfuckers that they had on set, and Mike was able to get all of that. Like, it was fine. It all worked.
Yeah, and because it was Mike, bro. Who don't listen to his music, man? People, everybody. I don't care where you're from, you know what I mean, what your class is. You listen to Mike, man. His music's that good.
There's another story about Beat It too that I always love, because I'm a huge Weird Al Yankovic fan. I'm like Weird Al.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a massive Weird Al fan. Like, I got his book sitting right there, as a matter of fact, within 5 feet of me. I'm a huge Weird Al guy. Weird Al did
Amish Paradise.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that song in particular, because it ties into this story. He did. It did. Check it out. He did Eat It, right? He did Eat It, where he makes fun of, well, not makes fun, but he does a parody of Beat It, and he did it with Michael Jackson's Blessing. You fast forward about 15 years or so, and he does the big song in the fucking world, you know, Gangsta's Paradise, you know, and Weird Al's like, he goes and talks to Coolio, and he tries to get permission. There was mixed messages. Apparently, when Coolio originally talked to Weird Al, he said yes. Then the management company said no. And then, so Weird Al's management company went and sent Coolio a check. They kept the check, so they made the music video, Amish Paradise. When Coolio won all them Grammys that year, he did a huge interview afterwards where he says, you know, this is some real shit. This is, Gangsta's Paradise is the most important gang song of all time. This isn't Beat It. And people lost their fucking minds when he said that. I mean,
fuck you, Coolio.
Like, I mean, people, to belittle that song, because Beat It, what are you talking about? But it was an interesting thing. The whole story was bizarre and weird. And he took a shot at Michael Jackson, of all people. It was very, very strange to me.
And that's why you never heard another hit from him again.
Well, he had Fantastic Voyage. Ride, slippity slide. Come along and ride on a fantastic. Come on, man. That was a jam.
That sucked, bro. He sucked. I never was a big fan of Coolio. I think he got really big head after that one song. That's why he said about Michael, he got a big head, and then he never did anything else. Michael Jackson kept making classics and classics and classics. So he didn't care if Weird Al Yankovic used that, because he's like, dude, I got, like, my music's for everybody. He didn't, you know what I mean? That's what that's what I dig about him, man.
It was so much fun, and he's gone everywhere. He's gone different genres. He's reinvented himself. People don't really give him credit for that, but he did. Remember, what was the song that he came out that was incredibly sexy? Oh God! Oh shit! It was around the same time.
PYT?
Yeah. No. It was something. No, not PYT. It was something else. It was him It was right in the early 90s. God, I can't remember the name of it. And it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's almost,
and this beautiful fucking woman. And it's just him and her. And he's in a white shirt. And they're like almost fucking.
Is that the way you make me feel?
No. That was in the 80s. No, the way you make me feel was him chasing after something else. No, this was a different song. It was really, oh God, what the fuck was it? It was in the 90s. It was just him and her. There was nobody else. And this girl was bad as a motherfucker. And they're both barely dressed. And I cannot remember. It's killing me right now. It's killing me. Oh, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you,
dude,
motherfucker.
That's another thing about his songs. He's got so much music that you know it. You might not even know the name of it, but you're like, I know that song. Because I guarantee you, Dave, if you played that song, I would be like, I know it.
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. It's because it's a good song. Oh, it's right on the tip of my fucking tongue. It's right there. This is driving. I gotta look it up because it's driving me crazy.
Oh man, look, I gotta be honest. Like when I was fucking in Germany and Prague, dude, I'm doing these shows, and some of these people couldn't speak, my language and shit like that, right? The one thing ever, and I'm not even joking. This lady was like, "I love music. I love him. I love music. I love rap. I love Michael Jackson." Everybody, they brought it up to me. Like, I'm like, this man, he's been dead since 2009.
I got it.
These people still. What is it?
It was in the closet, and it had Princess Stephanie of Monaco, and people freaked out about that. It was him and her. You got to watch this music video, dude. I'm telling you, it's one of the sexiest music videos ever made, and it's.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
Keep it in the closet.
I gotta check it out.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was so good. I'm sorry. Please continue. My bad.
No. I just was like extending on just how well known. I mean, he's been gone for a while now, and people still. To this day, when you're American, you visit a different country. They know one person to bring up. It's Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
and they really bring it up. That's crazy, man.
It really,
it was just
nuts.
crazy to me.
It was absolutely nuts. And you and I, and you haven't even brought this up. I'm surprised. I wanted to race you to see who was going to bring this up first, because you and I have another connection to Michael, in another way, because of where we're from. We're from Chicago, both of us, and. Yours and my favorite athlete of all time had a very strong connection to Michael Jackson. Tell me you don't remember motherfucking Jam. Crisscross. Remember that?
Oh, man. Oh.
Him and Michael Jordan playing basketball.
It was MJ and MJ, bro. I remember that. They couldn't. I was the shit. I was like, oh, it's over.
Yep.
I was a kid. That was the shit. MJ with MJ. I didn't know what to do.
It was so good. It was so good. Everybody was in that song. Heavy D was in that music video.
I remember how old I was, Dave. I probably had a wet dream. I'm not even gonna lie. I might have been 5 or 6 years old, but I remember seeing that video and I was like, "Oh my God, that's Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson." I didn't know what to do with myself as a kid, man.
It was so much fun because everybody was huge. Chris Cross was there. Naughty by Nature made a cameo. Yeah. Heavy D was in that thing. He does the bridge of that song. It's really great. And then the entire time, it's Michael Jackson trying to learn how to play basketball from fucking Michael Jordan.
Jordan, that's fucking. How awesome was that though, man? You know what I mean? Like we might never see two guys like that again.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, that was so cool, dude. That was. You guys got to check that out, man. I don't know why I don't know how I didn't bring that up, Dave.
I was like in my head, I was like, this motherfucker better not say Jam before me. They better not say motherfucking Jam.
I mean, he's got so many songs. There's a song that it's pretty popular. It's one of my favorite songs. I love the video, but I think it's probably like anytime I just feel like any type of way I listen to it. It's called "Stranger in Moscow," and it's just it's such a beautiful. The beat is beautiful.
You
the way
went
he
deep
sang
cut
it
on
is
that.
beautiful. Oh, and the video is about him being alone in Moscow. And I mean, just imagine that, guys. If you're in a different country and you're a stranger, I mean, how alone he must have felt when he wrote that song, or whoever wrote that song. That's so deep. You know what I mean? To feel you're so alone that you feel like a stranger in Moscow. You know what I mean? Like you're in a different country with no friends. That's a very lonely feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a really lonely. And so sometimes I think it is, and I would like to think, I don't know for sure, but I would like to think that he was, like I do, he was writing about his life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kind of. And maybe he was that lonely, man. You know what I mean? At a time.
He might
and I can imagine if you're Michael Jackson, probably kind of, a lonely feeling because, people, as I even, like Dave, I was telling you, like, as I've gotten bigger, a lot of people from my past have came back, and I don't know what they're there for. It's weird. So just imagine me and Michael Jackson, all these people want to, like, I mean, you would think that he didn't feel alone because so many people, but I know what it's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To feel alone. So like, it's great. It was just a great song, dude.
Almost everything that he did had that same type of vibe to it. Especially like people forget, while you may not know a lot of the things that Michael Jackson may have done outside of his life as far as what actual philanthropy goes, his songs made differences. Heal the World was an incredibly important song at the time. Oh, my goodness. Incredibly fucking important song. And he had a bunch of those, man. Man in the Mirror made fucking people stop and think. Stop and think. What a good song.
Oh, that's a Man in the Mirror is such a great song, dude.
You know what one of the biggest misconception is about Michael Jackson?
What is that?
Is that he didn't write a lot of his own music. I've heard this myth a lot. Go look it up. It's not true. I heard he did. He did. He wrote or co-wrote almost everything. Almost everything. Now there was a few songs. I mean, I know Prince did something for him. I know Babyface did something for him. Ironically enough.
Well, R. Kelly did something for him too. Being from Chicago, when he did his last album, the last album he did, I think it was Butterflies. But which is also a great album. Yeah. That was his last album he did. That was a great album.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, people just don't. I mean, even in the early 2000s. I mean, this guy. But so he did have some writers, but I found out he wrote a lot of his own stuff too, which is really cool.
Yeah, and can you just imagine all the things that he wrote that he never showed people? Because the type of person that he was, I mean, he was not a very outgoing type of guy. I mean, I can just imagine some of the things that he wrote down and threw away, especially as a child, growing up the way that he did. Yeah. I mean, there's so much with it. There's so much to talk about with Michael Jackson. It almost feels...
Dude, Dave, speaking of the Jackson 5 you were saying earlier, have you ever heard this song called Blame It on the Boogie?
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love that song. I know they said disco die, but that is a great disco kind of feel, kind of boogie song. Dude, that was good. I love that song. I always listen to it when I'm like celebrating and shit too. Like, and I feel like just moving around like a little disco, that and the Bee Gees. But that's definitely one of those songs that I really like that song too.
Yeah, no, it was. They did a lot, and a lot of deep cuts. A lot of deep cuts with there, but when you listen to the albums, because they produced albums together from, I believe, 70 or 69 to 75. And there was so much that was thrown. Because I Want You Back came out, I want to say 69. And then the last big hit, I think they had, maybe Rockin' Robin? But that even feels like that was earlier. I don't know. Ben was also something that was on the 1975 album, if I remember. But by that time, the writing was on the wall. The last album, you remember what the last album with the 1975 was called? It was Forever Michael. Forever Michael was the last album that they did together, and then he did Off the Wall. It was just like
Off the Wall with Human Nature. And speaking of Off the Wall, I mean, Human Nature is one of my favorite songs too.
Oh, Human Nature is a badass song.
That is such a great. Oh man, that's such a good song. I mean, you've heard somebody remade that song too. I mean, people just. I mean, Human Nature is such a great song, dude. I forgot. You made me think about that because that was off the first album by himself. You know what I mean? So if you thought that he was just with his brothers, like, and he was good, and they were a great group. Yeah. This man could really do it on his own too and make a hit like Human Nature. So
Ben is getting ahead of me quite a bit. Ben in the chat, Frenchie Ben, who's I love so much. But he just brought up something that I wanted to talk about because he had one of the most important parts in one of the most important songs in the history of music. When Heal the World came out, that was and now a lot of people, there are people like anti-activists or people who think that everything's propaganda, blah, 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 that shit on that song as, which I don't get. Because for one, it's just a good song. Everybody was in that song. Everybody.
Yeah, they were. Everybody was in that. That's true.
Everybody. You think about it, I mean, fucking, you had, God damn it, Ray Charles. You had Steve Perry. Like, everybody was in this goddamn song. It was such a crazy hit. And he sang so much of it. He had a lot. And in a collective like that, it was his voice you remember the most. Stevie Wonder was in that song.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Stevie Wonder was in that song, wasn't he?
Yep. It was crazy.
That's amazing, man.
And it was an important time. It was a very important time. So
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, that was a really important time. Early 90s and shit like that, bro. You know, we knew what was going on back then, you know. So it was a lot of divide, and I think he really tried to bring that divide closer together, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like, it showed me as an artist that there are things that you can do with music that you don't even know you can do, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's messages in music that people, when they listen to it, they get, and you can really talk to people through your music, man.
Yep. Michael Jackson, one of his greatest abilities is the fact that he can start up, just his name can start a conversation between almost any two people on the planet, for good or bad reasons.
Oh,
if you walk up to anybody and you talk about Michael Jackson, you're probably going to have a conversation.
Oh, of course.
There's so many. Let me ask you. I want to focus a part of this real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a question I want to ask you, because you already went with a deep cut. What's another song that people probably wouldn't expect anybody to really be saying, this is on my playlist quite a bit, this is something that I listen to? Because I got one in my head that I've always loved, and I loved it as a kid, and I can't even tell you why, because it's so much more grown up than I probably should have been listening to. But what for you? What was a really, really, really just powerful song, or something that people wouldn't expect to hear on your playlist, even from Michael Jackson?
Wow. You know what? There's probably off his last album he did. I think it's called the album. I think it's called Break of Dawn, but it didn't get. I think it's not as. Don't get me wrong. I did great.
Yeah.
For Michael, it did great. Before Michael Jackson album, I think it was probably the one. You know, I think he was in. You know, it was 2000. He was kind of dying down. It was his last one. People were excited, but it wasn't like it was Billie Jean and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It didn't go like that. But the title song on there, which is Break of Dawn, is an incredible song. That's on my playlist. It's called The Break of Dawn, and that is such a good song. I think it's very underrated. Like, he's saying so beautiful. It's such a good beat, and how he sang it, and the emotion he put. I think it's very, very, very underrated, man. Yeah. I think that whole album, his last album, is very underrated.
Yeah, not a lot of people talk about it. No, that's true.
No, they didn't.
That's true. And nobody really said anything bad about it, but I mean, yeah, nobody really talked about it either.
And I mean, it did great. It went platinum 2 times over, I believe. Like, it went great. But when you talk about Michael Jackson, a lot of times they don't bring that last album up, and I think it was really good, man. It's
a forgotten thing, and that's kind of like what I'm about to talk about, because we talked about music videos and stuff, but there was a music video that he did. It was off the Bad album. It was the 4th, 5th, or 6th single off of it. I can't remember. I was looking it up earlier. The song was called Dirty Diana. Do you remember Dirty Diana?
No, Dave, that's my shit. I love that. Is my shit. That's in my playlist too.
That song. Like, I was a kid listening to this song, and like I would sing it. Oh my God. And I was a kid, like a young kid, singing this song, and it is not for kids.
No. You know what, Dave? That's crazy. I remember going back and listening to that.
Yep.
And I remember when I realized this is not that long ago. I realized, wait a minute. Like, when you start to really learn the words,
right?
You're like, wait, like, that's not. Wow, Mike.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that people always talk about what that song meant. Apparently, and there was the rumor that it had to do with Diana Ross, and.
Diana was a dirty whore then.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, it got denied and stuff, but there was a lot of things about it. It was just kind of funny because they were friends. They were really close. And,
yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was, but that's a really good song. I think you're right. I think that song is very underrated too. There's
a fantastic guitar solo by Steve Stevens, who was Billy Idol's fucking guitarist. And he borrowed Billy Idol's guitars for this. And there's this Michael's on stage, because that's where a lot of the music video takes place, is him on stage singing the song. And he goes in between the guy's leg, basically, and there's this shredding guitar solo in this fucking song. It's so good.
Dude, I didn't know that was Billy Idol's guitar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Steven Stevens, yep.
Well, you know, another song that I think it's pretty popular, but I don't think I don't think is the duet he did with his sister called "Scream."
Oh yes,
You ever seen it when they're on a spaceship?
dude.
I love that song too. That's a great song. And then that they both give up their middle fingers and shit like that when they're fucking. Dude, I thought that was so badass though,
Yes.
man.
That song, I was going to bring that up next. That was the next thing I was going to talk about because Scream was, because that's a fun song. It's fun, but they really, there's a lot of anger in that song because at the time they were getting attacked over and over and over.
Over and over again.
Janet was getting fucked with. Michael was getting fucked with. Everybody was getting fucked with. They make so many references to all the things that were happening to them in the media at that time. And it finally felt like, I don't give a fuck.
Give a fuck. Yeah.
I remember this so importantly because that music video had a really great scene in it where they were playing a version of like High Lie for some reason in the space in Zero Gravity. I don't know why. It was like this weird Tron High Lie fucking hybrid. This is Michael Jackson. He turned into a car once, okay? Don't try to figure it out. But the wall was lined with guitars. They were all Flying V guitars, which was my personal favorite guitar. And there was all these guitars, and I'll never forget this because I watched VH1 and not MTV when I was a kid because they were heavy with Michael Jackson. Heavy. They gave this shit away. I fucking racked up a $750 phone bill. I got my fucking ass whooped by my mother because I was trying to win one of these guitars.
I bet you did.
I was trying to win one of these guitars. I got probably the first time I'd ever gotten switched. And it was, it was bad. $750. I had to call, I called at least 600 times in a 2-day period. I wanted one of those guitars so bad. Each one signed by Michael Jackson and Janet. They both signed it. It was incredible.
I love the scene in their day when it's like they gave the world the middle fucking finger, bro. And I fucking love, I love shit like that, bro. And it was cool to see Michael do that. Like Michael had a side to him, you know what I mean? He was Michael Jackson. He was all, hey, but he didn't. He had a fucking side. Fuck you, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I felt that, man. And to see him and his sister give everybody the middle fucking finger, I mean, that's badass, bro.
And that's when she started looking really good too, because up to that point she was still kind of she had done the stuff where If I Were Your Girl and all that type of stuff that she was doing, and she was hot. But Scream, she was scantily clad, and at one point, do you remember she does a stand-up pissing take where she stood?
Yeah, she did.
That's the stuff that stands out to me. It was so good. Now
that's so fun.
And the last thing that I remember about Scream, and it fucked me up. This was after Michael died. It was the first Grammys. I think it was the first Grammys after Michael died. Janet performed Scream. Oh, I'm getting choked up even talking about it. And she did the dance. Well, they did the dance. There's a point in the song where they do a synchronized dance together. And she comes out and she nails this performance. And on the screen above her, they put that scene with Michael dancing. Fucked me up because it was 2010. And I was going through a lot of emotional times at that point.
Yeah.
I was just medically retired and all this, and I watched that. It just kind of it really, really sucked the wind out of me really badly. So it's still weird thinking that he's dead. It's been 7 years.
It's almost, and that's I don't know, that's why he's such a hero. His music is a hero of mine because, I mean, this dude, people always say I have a group called The Legacy, and I'm all about leaving a legacy. This dude, you wouldn't even, honestly, it's like he's not dead though.
No.
You know what I mean? Every Halloween you hear Thriller, you hear Michael Jackson as much as you did when he was alive. It's like he really left a legacy in this world, man.
Yeah.
His music is incredible, and they'll play it after I'm gone and after you're gone, Dave. People will always he will still be remembered. His music will go on for a long time, man. And I mean, I hope that I could even get to a point like that, bro. You know what I mean?
To be
even close.
Yeah, it's a heavy dream, and to even want to aspire to be that, but to have even a fraction, just for people, even in your peer group, your own friends to remember you in that way would be something. It's just There's not enough to be said about Michael Jackson. There's really not. You always feel like you're doing a disservice. Just everything.
And you know what? And here's another thing we didn't mention, dude. And then this sounds crazy, but I was a big fan of Michael Jackson's style.
Oh
yeah,
you know,
like, I like style, bro. I like pizzazz. I like flashy shit, bro. I mean, you met me, so you see, I walk around with some crazy shit. I like that shit, man. I like style. That dude had his own kind of swag, bro. He really did. Like it was weird because I couldn't wear the shit he was wearing. And
no,
you couldn't really, but he could. He could rock that shit, man. With all the zippers on it and shit. I'm like, man. For some reason, it just looked good on him, bro. Like then when he brought out that fucking glove, all of us to this day, sometimes I put on my one glove and I'll be like, and I'll start doing the Michael Jackson move and shit like that.
Sometimes just grab my hat,
just grab a hat like this, and you think of Michael Jackson. I mean, dude, he had a style out this world, bro. He really did.
Pop culture references. I don't think there's anybody. Well, you can't grab your own dick without thinking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, of course.
It's like you can't grab your own fucking dick without thinking about Michael Jackson. If you need any more evidence of how important Michael Jackson was, do you remember Michael Jackson recorded a goddamn song with fucking Paul McCartney?
Yeah, he did.
The girl is mine, dude. I mean,
that's a great song too. That's a great song, isn't it?
Yeah, the doggone girl is mine.
Hey, you know what? That's a song I think. I mean, a lot of people know that song, and rightfully so. But I feel like this could be even bigger than what it is because Paul McCartney, they did a really good. That was a really good duet with each other, man.
Yep. It's just it.
He's like, no, Pa, she's mine. I was like, oh
god. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's fucked up, man. It really is. It's some fucked up shit it's like because it was so weird, but that was the thing. It didn't matter. I mean, it's like, why is Michael Jackson singing with Paul McCartney? But
it didn't even matter. It's true. It doesn't even matter though, man.
How many times like, you think about it, how many things have we brought up in this show? Macaulay Culkin, fucking him turning into a car, Michael Jordan. It doesn't matter.
They realized that there was a gang fight going on, and Michael Jackson comes and breaks it up. And the thing is, I remember thinking like, well, if that was Chicago, they would have punched him. But you know what? I feel that, like, you know what? Michael Jackson could possibly do that.
If anybody could have, it would have been Michael. Yeah,
break up a gang fight.
If there was anybody, it would have been Mike.
I can see it happen. I could see him doing that.
It really.
He's the only one that could, Dave.
The only one. There is nobody else who could have possibly done it.
Nobody else.
There's nobody. It's like, really, like Elvis Presley could have walked up there and been like, "You guys want to stop him? Shut the fuck up." Michael does
fighting you, right? Michael come out, and everybody's like, you know what? We're gonna dance with him.
Let's all moonwalk the fuck out of here. Dancing. Just gonna moonwalk out the fucking room. Fuck it. It's crazy, man. It really, it's one of those things. The final question I have for you, and I do want to take some calls because I know a lot of people are going to want to have things to say about Michael. We will be taking calls in the waiting to call. Hopefully Discord is working good enough. I believe it is. We're going to go to Discord, go and wait and call if you want to talk about Michael Jackson, some of your favorite songs, some of your favorite moments from Mike. One thing I want to ask you, and I know that we're not going to talk too much about any of his personal things, but you have to at least bring it up in reference to this, and we've said it so many times. Michael can do no wrong. Michael can do no wrong. Let me ask you this. Do the things that he was accused of or some of the weird behavior, buying the Elephant Man's bones, buying the entire goddamn Beatles collection, all of that type of stuff, do you feel those things, even in the slightest, took away from his legacy, or is it part of the reason why we do inherently love Mike?
That's such a tough question, though.
Right.
Because it's hard because everybody loves Mike. And I'm pretty sure it did, I'm pretty sure it turned some people off, of course. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it did. Because, I try not to, when people bring it up, I'm just like, well, it's Mike. So,
right.
But it is, Mike was weird. But it's like, we kind of just was like, hey, I mean, Dave, I'm not joking when I say, like, some of we were in school or whatever, and people be like, Mike they said he was touching, doing this, or did you see him in the last interview, he climbed a tree? And I was like, Michael, I remember looking at that interview, Dave, and I was like, Michael, get your ass down from that tree.
Right.
Like, seriously, like, what the fuck are you doing? But it was still Michael, though, so I couldn't even be that mad. I left confused, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, it's Michael. I'm still gonna listen to his music, man.
Yeah, like when he left the courthouse and then he jumped on the car and started dancing.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing, man? But I'm still gonna listen to his music. His music is the shit, man. I think he really could he could do no wrong, man. That was a grown ass motherfucker climbing up a tree, Dave.
Yes, he was.
Doesn't everybody climb trees? I was like, no, Michael, they don't. They don't. But I was like, I mean, it's fucking Mike, so he can climb all the trees he wants.
You know, we didn't even talk about. We didn't even talk about that. I just brought up Elvis, and he has a very, very, very big fucking connection to Elvis. He married fucking Priscilla Presley.
Oh, that's right.
He married the king's daughter, dude. It was short lived, of course, but I mean, like.
Yeah, but he did though. That's kind of like
not Priscilla. What was her name? That wasn't Priscilla. Priscilla was fucking Elvis's fucking wife. What was her name? God damn it.
He married the daughter. What's her name?
Elvis Presley's kid. Elvis Presley daughter. What was
that's
her
a good one.
Name? Lisa Marie Presley. God damn it.
Lisa, there you go.
Yeah. They were married for like about 3.5 minutes. But,
hey, but you know what? At least you could say I pulled the king's daughter, bro.
Yeah, and you know who's Eskimo brothers with Michael Jackson?
Who?
Nicolas motherfucking Cage. Nicolas Cage also married her too.
Really? Yeah. Oh, that's true. Wow.
Fucking Nick Cage, man. Like, Nicolas Cage and
Michael
Jackson.
As long as he doesn't play Ghost Rider again, we'll be okay.
I know, right? Keep him the fuck away from. He don't need to be doing Ghost Rider. No.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Nick. That wasn't Michael Jackson like at all. But anyway, like I said though, at least he could say he married the king's daughter, bro. I mean, that had to mean something. Dude, like I said, now he is. I mean, it's kind of like the crown got passed down to him. You know what I mean? Well, and if you think about it,
no, it did. I mean, like. For a while after Elvis, it became more about bands than it didn't. I mean, there were some big solo acts, but it became about bands. It became about the epics, and then Michael came around. Even Michael started out in a band that was fucking transcendent and all this, and then he went single, and boom. And at the same time, to be fair, there were a lot of guys who were coming on the scene around the same time. You know, you had Prince. Yeah, I mean, fucking Rick James. People fucking.
Oh my goodness!
I want to do a show on Rick James because. If you were alive in the 80s, even a little bit, you know this, what I'm about to say to be true. There was a time, it might only been about 3 to 6 months, Rick James was the biggest motherfucker on the planet, including Michael Jackson.
Come on, it was Rick James.
Rick James.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Dude. and Rick just had a little bit worse luck because Mike did everything behind closed doors and Rick tortured the bitch with a fucking bass pipe. I mean, you know, it's...
Dave, you got to think about this, Dave. If in any other time period, I think Prince would have been known as the greatest.
Yeah. No, I think you could still make the argument.
Like Prince was the shit, dude. Any other time period, bro. But he was around Michael Jackson, man. And that's MJ's era, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we always say Prince is dope, but nobody's better than MJ, man. Yeah. He's even more popular than Prince. Come on, man. I mean, and Prince was the man.
Oh, God.
Prince is damn, but he's not bigger than my MJ, bro. Nobody's bigger than MJ, man.
You put a gun to my head. It's one of the hardest things. If his overall, like as great as Mike is, and he is. Musically, like genius wise, I don't know if there's ever been anyone as good as Prince. I mean, like Prince could play every instrument known to man, teach you how to do it. Prince is a different animal, but
and Dave, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. In any other era, Prince is the number one guy.
Yeah,
Prince is Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, especially because his music. I mean, come on, but Michael was so big. Even Prince can't compete with that.
No,
man.
He can't. When I'm looking, especially even if Prince can't compete. Entertainment wise, it's Michael. Numbers wise,
Mike, dude.
It's
videos,
Michael.
Everything. It's Mike. It's And that's crazy because Prince is, like you said, a musical genius. So that just shows how big Michael Jackson. I don't think we'll ever see another artist that like that in our lifetime. I really don't. I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't see
it. I think it's because he was able to connect with so much music, and I really mean that when I say he has a lot influence on my music, man. Because I try to make Dave. One thing you always say that the best compliment I get from you and other people is. Anybody can listen to that.
Anybody. Yep.
And I love that. I love hearing that because Mike, that's the one thing I feel like with MJ's music, anybody can listen to that. Yep. Anybody can listen to Michael Jackson's music, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even if everybody has their favorites, but I guarantee you when we get these calls, that we get. Everybody has something they like from Michael Jackson, bro. And I think that takes so much skill to be able to write something that's coming from your life and be able to translate it to where people who live a totally different style or a different, I'm trying to think of the word, but just a different life culture can all feel that shit. That says a lot about you, man.
Yep. Chelsea Camilla in the chat. Yes, I knew they were married for 2 years. I was making a joke when I said 3.5 minutes. It's just because you rarely saw them together, and the most awkward thing you'll ever see in your fucking life is that.
It wasn't really 3.5 minutes, guys.
No, it was two. It was obviously, but there was one of their only in life sightings, especially with any physical. It was at a Grammys or something where they appeared on stage together, and he awkwardly fucking kisses her. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. It really is,
dude. And that's the thing. You just don't I've done my research on Mike, and I don't know what Mike. I don't know what Mike was.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, but it does not matter. Does not matter. His music was so great that you just don't give a shit.
Nope.
I mean, what the fuck was he doing with Bubbles?
Dude, I don't know. I don't care. He had a monkey. I'd have a monkey.
I don't give a fuck.
I'll take a monkey right now. I'd have a legion of monkey butlers if I can get away with it. Legion. The thing is with his death too. People forget there was a very good chance he was on the way for a massive comeback. He was 50 years old, and he was doing that tour.
Before he died, he was getting ready to do that tour.
He was doing that tour, and This Is It tour, and it was there was so much hype on that. And I remember the video that got released, the movie that they did where he was doing the performances. Man, he never sounded better. He was still dancing. He was still Mike, and he was fucking close to death.
Yeah, he still. That's why I said that album, Break It Down. The album is fucking amazing, dude. Yeah. This last album, I think it was so good. So,
and we're already hearing it. Every now and then, another Michael Jackson song ends up coming out. Just one came out 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. They'll keep coming out. Hey, Tupac still has music, so is Mike.
Yeah, he's got music because us musicians, this is what we do. If you really love it, and that's how I can tell the ones that really love their music. And there's some guys who come out with something, then they go down and you don't hear from them again.
Right.
Michael, these dudes made music even when they're gone because that's what they did. They made music. It's a lot of it. That's great, man. That's loving your craft, loving what you do. So I can tell you loved his music, man, and that's just cool. Like I said, and I'm sorry if I've been kind of long-winded today, guys.
God, no.
Michael Jackson means a lot to me, man. He really
It's kind of hard to talk about him, because everything is emotional. We talked about this in the first episode of this. Music, you make connections to it, to moments. Michael Jackson had references he had an episode of The Simpsons. Everything about Mike connects to something that you remember. And that's the mark of a true fucking legend.
Yeah, it is, man. And music is also like you were saying, music's emotional, man. Music is deep. So when you feel somebody and they really like that music with that song they put out and you feel that, you know what I mean? You really feel it, So it was a lot. I really felt some of the shit Michael Jackson was saying in his music, a lot, man. So it means a lot to me, man. So I'm really happy we talked about him on this show. I feel like it's kind of my way to. I didn't know the man or nothing like that, of course, but it's my way to kind of pay respects to that dude influenced my music for real.
This is what you do. This is what you do. You have pursued this as a profession. If there's anybody around that is qualified to truly talk about Michael Jackson in the scope that you are, it's you. So, I mean, you never have to apologize for that. But here's what you guys in the chat need to motherfucking apologize for. I don't see enough fucking likes on this video, and I don't appreciate it. Makes me.
What y'all up to?
This is Michael Jackson's in the chat.
Show some love, man.
Michael Jackson's in the freaking title, man. Show some love, if not for us, for Mike. Yes, I'm a whore. Okay, let's jump over to Discord. Yes, I will use Mike's name to get likes and views. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. All right, we're gonna go over to Discord. You ready to join me over there, buddy?
All right, I'll see you in a minute, Dave.
All right, man. Talk to you in a sec. All righty. Go ahead and look at this WrestleCrate promo. Go get WrestleCrate and just go look at it. I don't have anything else to put up there at the moment. Let's go to Discord. If you guys want to talk to us, jump on in. We want to hear your favorite Michael Jackson moments, the things that really stand out to you, your favorite songs, what's in your playlist with Michael Jackson, whatever you got. Keep it brief. We don't want to be here all motherfucking night. Just waiting on my man, your man, our man, Real Talk Metaphor Messiah to jump on into the Discord, and we are going to start taking your calls. All right, let's bring him in now. Here is the man, the myth, the legend, Real Talk Metaphor Messiah. You here, buddy? That might be on me. Give me 1 second. Sarah Small donated $5. Thank you very much for that. Sarah Small. Shit. Okay, hold on.
Hey?
Okay, there you are. I thought it might be on me. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
I don't have my microphone. I can hear you. My microphone's not bad this time, so.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you, Sarah Small, for the $5 donation. Very much appreciated. You are awesome. Let's start it off, man.
Thank you, Sarah.
Let's go right to Gun Cannon, man. The guy who made the amazing graphic that you're looking at right now for the playlist and most of my graphics, the one and only Gun Cannon. You're live at Down on Dave and Real Talk Metaphor Messiah. What you got about Michael Jackson?
I had it was funny because you were talking about that the DVD near the end of his life and whatnot that they brought out after he died. I was working at the time that came out for a Blockbuster, and I remember putting those up on the shelves and looking, and there was like probably 5-6 people outside. We sold out of those as far as to rentals and actual like copies of the movies within like the first 15 minutes of being open.
Did you say Blockbuster Video?
Wow.
Yes. No, it was Hollywood. It was Hollywood Video.
You've got to explain what that is. Nobody knows what the fuck that is.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Nobody knows what these things are.
People go, what the fuck was that?
There was a time when Netflix didn't exist, believe it or not, and you had to go to a store where movies lived, and you could rent them like a library. I know now I got to explain what the fuck a library is, but. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's that no. The library's that place where you guys go to free Wi-Fi and have all those pieces of paper inside.
That's where the free Wi-Fi and the books live. That's true.
Yeah, but no, I grew right up in that prime of when he was doing everything, and I listened to all of his. Pretty much everything. I know you guys were talking about Scream, but there was another song he did that was kind of a push against the media. Leave Me Alone.
Oh yeah,
that's a great song.
I love that song.
Yeah, I talked about that earlier too. That was a good song.
Yeah, it was a great song. The video for it was fantastic.
Yeah, where it was done in carnival.
Yeah, well, it was done in that same style that majority of the portions for Sledgehammer was.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With Peter Gabriel, and I loved that. I loved that art. I loved that artistic design. He was always cutting edge when it came to things like that, though.
Yeah, he was.
Like his videos were fantastic.
And remember, he didn't fuck around in that video because every comment that people ever made about him, he had in that video. He rode a rocket ship with bubbles in that video.
Yeah,
he did.
I mean, yeah, and he talked about he had the Elephant Man's bones dancing in there. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Like that was one of the things I always loved about him was how cutting edge he was for the times. He always had a way of being like right there with everything. He was one of the bigger reasons why I got into electronic music and stuff like.
I could see that.
mean, it was just really cool to see, and I know I had a lot. I listened to everything. I liked all the same ones that I think everyone else did. Scream was always one of my favorites because that was right around the time when I was starting to get more into electronic, and I heard that I was like, oh, I'm done. Fuck this. So
yeah.
No, but
I get that, bro.
Yeah, but that song's always been on my playlist. Smooth Criminal has always been on my
we didn't
playlist.
really talk about Smooth Criminal that much, man. That was an important song. That was a really important song.
One of my favorite videos ever. Probably my favorite video.
And you know what? It's a contrary to a point that I made earlier because I said there's not a lot of people who would dare fucking make a remake of a Michael Jackson song. Alien Ant Farm did, and you can make an argument it's every fucking bit as good as the original. That remade song is badass, man. And
Alien Ant Farm did a good job on that song. They really did.
It absolutely did, and everybody that was around when that song first came out with Michael Jackson, when that first riff came up that they did, they were like, "Oh,
yep." No, and that was for an American Pie movie, wasn't it? Like that was on the soundtrack, I think, of American Pie 2. I think.
Was it?
Yeah, because I think it was the song that that was playing when Jim glued his fucking hand to his dick.
Oh yeah. It was.
I think
it was. Oh my god! I had to go back into my mind because American Pie is really not a movie. I really kind of
fuck off, man. American Pie. That whole trilogy is amazing. Amazing.
I love that.
I am sorry. I have been friggin' neck deep in 80s movies all week. So, which has unfortunately taken over my playlist, which I should be annoyed at, but I would go back and listen and go, wow, I remember these songs and I love them.
Nothing wrong with that, man. I'll go listen to fucking Kenny Loggins and do some Footloose and all kinds of shit right now.
Oh, I would go listen to some Simple Minds right now.
Hell yeah.
Kenny Loggins. I told you about the movie that I watched, the old Charlie Sheen movie called The Wraith. I went back and listened to the soundtrack for that. There are some songs that, like, Ozzy Osbourne was on that soundtrack. Lion.
No,
Lion.
really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
if you ever get the chance, go look up the Wraith soundtrack. It is literally an 80s mind fuck.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I will post some of the things in the playlist chat. just to screw you, because you're gonna listen to it and go, wow, I either feel old or wow, this music actually existed.
Michael had a few soundtrack songs. You remember he did Free Willy? Free Willy?
He did Free
Willy.
Did Free Willy. By the way, I hated that poster.
Oh.
It just never made me. The kid's got his hand up, his fist up, and the whale's going over him. And I remember as a kid thinking, well, what if that whale falls? Okay, I don't believe that whale's going to jump over that kid.
It's a dead-ass kid. That kid is motherfucking
I think secretly when I was watching that movie in the theaters, under my breath, I was going, just land on him, just land on him, just land on him, just land on him.
What if this is the one jump where the whale like pulls a hammy or something and just fucking crushes the kid? You know what? Or the whale equivalent of a hammy.
What I was really hoping for was that he wasn't going to jump over him. He was just going to jump into him and like either eat him or just tackle him into the water.
Oh, and that's the true story behind Moby Dick. Right there. He ate Ahab's son when his son was trying to release him from captivity. That's the reality. Shit. All right, God, what else you got for us? Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Oh my god!
Good call. First of all.
It's a great call.
Good call.
It's a great call. Thanks,
yeah,
man. We appreciate it.
Don't forget to put the playlist in the playlist, man.
Yes, go into the playlist section of the Discord, and every Michael Jackson moment that you could fucking think of, and anything else that you're listening to, we want to know about it. We're gonna respond to it. We want to hear it. We'll also keep the conversation going on Twitter as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, Gunny, you have yourself a good night, buddy.
You too. See you later.
Talk to you later.
Peace.
Jade, I want to bring in Jade because Jade's real big into music. She's huge. She listens to a lot of music.
Oh,
yeah, she listens to a lot of music. So I'm looking forward to hear what she has to say. Jade Rabbit, you're live with Dead on Dave and Real Talk Metaphor Messiah on the playlist. What do you got?
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Dave, you just totally ruined everything that I prepared by bringing up Alien Ant Farm.
I finally did it to you. I finally did it to you. You've done this to me many times.
I've done this to you multiple times.
Gotcha, bitch.
You really... Gotcha, bitch. Oh my god. No, because I was like, all right, I got this. You know, like Dave just said, like, oh, there's no good covers. I'm like, no, motherfucker, do not forget that Alien Ant Farm exists. Okay.
She was gonna come at me hard too. Because I forgot about it.
Oh, I was ready. I didn't even want to mention it in chat because I was like, oh, he's gonna retract his statement,
and
I'm just gonna pin him. Yeah, right before.
Right before.
Right call. God damn it.
I'm Dead on Dave for a reason, baby. Don't forget this. The name is accurate as a motherfucker.
All right, whatever.
So I blew up your spot. What else you got?
Yeah, you did. Well, you didn't talk about Black or White because that's another iconic song, like controversial.
I did mention it.
We did mention it a little bit, but yeah, it's iconic.
Oh, you did a little bit, but it super iconic. Also has another model, Tyra Banks, because the girl you were talking about.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
right.
Tyra Banks. The other song that you were talking about, Deva, in the closet, was with Naomi Campbell. She's a supermodel.
Naomi Campbell. That's who you're talking
about. No. Are you sure about that?
Isn't it?
Because it was a big controversy because it was a Princess of Monaco. It was Princess Stephanie. Yes, it was Princess Stephanie of Monaco. He was fucking freaking on like that.
In the closet though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure. At least that's what Wiki says. Maybe Wiki's a goddamn lie. I don't know. Hold on. I'll look it up to make sure. But keep going.
Either way, that chick was fine.
Yes, she was.
Maybe I'm just remembering wrong. Maybe I'm probably wrong. Most likely, if you just Googled it, then
you're right. I think you're right.
What?
I think you're right. Yep.
Why would I be right?
No, the vocals. No. Excuse me. The vocals were of Princess Stephanie of Monaco. The supermodel who was in it was Naomi Campbell.
Gotcha, bitch.
Was cute.
I was partly right too.
Nice, Jade.
Well done, Jade. Are you happy now? Do you feel satisfied now? Proud of yourself.
Also, just to be selfish, Real, thank you so much for retweeting my shit. I did not expect that for a minute.
Oh, dude, no problem. What the
You're looking good.
Yeah.
Hey, I just copied Mystic. Like, honestly, like, she did it better and sexier first. I was just like, yeah, like, I'm gonna take inspiration. Don't
sell yourself short. You're pretty damn sexy there yourself. Don't sell yourself short for a second.
Exactly. I was just happy to have two beautiful women, do that to my music. That's
Mystic killed a lot of people that day. There were a lot of hearts that exploded, and mine almost did. But luckily, I am no normal man. But
okay.
It's very. People are like, "You're right. This motherfucker is not normal. This is true."
No, seriously, Jay. Thank you, though. That's really cool. Like you guys don't know, that makes me feel really nice. Like to see beautiful girl. You're a beautiful woman. I'm sure you. If you don't know that, you should. So to see you guys like getting down to my music, that's fucking awesome, man.
Really of course. Like you kill it. So, oh my god, thank you.
Your hair, I love your hair.
She's part of my harem. Real talk. Back off.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
My bad, Dave.
Who lapes Clay?
I heard her get a little too excited there. I had to stake my claim. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, you did.
Wait the fucking second here. I don't think I like what I'm hearing.
Hey, we're cool, Real, but
just
shit.
I didn't expect it, but yeah, like honestly, Real, like you just keep making your music to be all like I don't know. Because I don't really usually listen to rap at all until I started listening to more of your stuff. But yeah,
he hears that a lot. He hears that a lot.
I figured.
There's a lot of white people who have said, "Real talk, you've opened my eyes to hip hop. Thank you." And there's a lot of white fathers who are like, "Real talk, I'm gonna kill you one day, motherfucker."
Yeah, fuck yeah.
God damn it. It's hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh, all right. Well, let me let you guys get to these other callers. I'm sorry. I don't want to take up too much time.
Oh god, no, you're fine. I appreciate it.
Great call, Jay. I think that was the best call ever.
Yes,
why?
What did I just tell you? What the fuck did I just tell you, man? What's the matter with you? What the fuck? It's fucked up. All right, Jade. No, fantastic call. We love you to death. Thanks a lot, Jade.
All right. I love you guys too. Bye.
I love Jade, man. Jade is the absolute woman, man. She's great. Let's get a little German going on up in here. Super Rising Storm, you're live with Dead on Dave and Real Talk Metal from Messiah. Welcome to the playlist. What you got?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
So I was thinking about talking Michael's #1 hits because take a guess how many #1 hits he had in Germany.
In Germany? Oh,
wow.
fuck. God damn,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know, but they probably all happened last week.
I had to look it up a couple of days ago because I was preparing for the show, and I was shocked.
First of all, let me just say.
Go ahead, Ray.
How many?
Dave, you said 0?
I'm saying 0.
Jay, what's your?
I'm gonna say he had a couple. I think he was that iconic. I'm sure he had a couple.
2 in total.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now think about that, guys. Think about 2 number-1 hits in Germany, man. I mean, that's crazy.
Billie Jean was number 2 in Germany. Beat It was number 2 in Germany.
Yep.
Let's see here. You got the 9 with Thriller was number 9 here. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
weird.
I think you understand why I was shocked about this.
Hold on, I'm still looking for the first number 1. Dirty Diana reached 3. Black or White was 2. Heal the World was fucking 3. Heal the World was 3 here. Here's the first one. This is kind of weird. Wow. The first one was Earth Song.
Right.
I love that song. No. That's a great song.
It's a good song, but I mean,
that is an awesome song.
Jay, the thing is that it's really late into his career for being a number 1 song.
That's true. You know what? That is true. That's really late.
But this will make you feel better about the German people, real, because the second number 1 song was "They Don't Care About Us."
Oh wow, that's my favorite. Wow.
Yep. A song that only reached number 30 in the U.S. Number 30, that song reached the highest it got in the U.S. 30. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That is crazy.
It is.
That's I was not expecting that. That's some weird shit.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it has amazing lyrics. So.
Oh, the lyrics are amazing. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. Don't just black and white me. All I want to say is that. Sorry.
Yeah, it was good.
Go ahead.
Good. Now you have a different perspective because, like, Germany got late on everything, So it's like, how old are you, Flo?
Well, I'm turning 28.
Okay, so really, you grew up in a period where everything was coming over here at the time. So my wife's a little bit older. My wife's 41 years old. So she's a little bit older. So she tells me all these stories about she just didn't grow up with this shit. Like, they limited number of television stations, limited number of radio stations, not a lot of stuff you heard it yourself. 2 number 1 hits out of Michael Jackson over here in Germany.
Which is crazy.
So they just didn't grow up with it in the same way that we did. So speaking of somebody who's lived here your entire life, what does Michael Jackson mean to you? Flo?
Hard to say.
Are you a big Michael Jackson fan?
I wouldn't consider myself a fan, but
really?
I like a few. I like a few of his songs, but that's it.
That's it. Like, why are you turned off by Mike?
What? Say again, please.
What turns you off about Mike? Is it his music or is it his personal life?
It's not like that. It's turning me off, but it's not like I didn't grow up with pop music in general, so I was late in the game. Say it like this. But yeah, nah. I mean, his dancing skills were amazing. His singing was wow. And yeah.
And that's the thing. You know what, though? That's kind of cool. Like, that's the thing about music I love. There's some people who still didn't, who didn't get to grow up with Michael Jackson, so they can still watch him today.
Right.
Like, wow.
Start with Moonwalker. You're welcome. Trust me. It's fucking weird. It's amazing.
And the weird thing is, the day it got announced that he died, I was sitting in the kitchen listening to the radio, and then they just said it, and it took me a couple of minutes to realize it. My mom was immediately, what did he say?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think Michael died. Wait, what? That was my reaction.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Like, because I said the exact same thing. I didn't have to say Michael Jackson died. When Michael Jackson died, all you had to say was you just turn to somebody who was like, Michael died. Because it's almost like
everybody.
Everyone know. Yeah.
Well, I remember getting phone calls. People,
oh,
you know
yeah.
Mike died?
People were
Like,
going
what?
crazy.
Yeah.
And this was after all that shit. You know, this was long after all of that shit.
Long after. It was still a really big thing. Like people, it was crazy. I remember getting phone calls from everybody. It was like if a family member died or something, and that says something. I mean, my grandma called me. You know, Mike died, and I was like, wow. You know, I'm like, no, I didn't. And I mean, wow, that's crazy.
You know, Terry said something, and she said it with all big capital letters, and she said, I believe people got turned off once it was people thought he was a child molester. Here's the thing. His music-wise, not a lot of people did. Younger people who may have been swayed by it, but anybody who grew up in the era of Mike with the music, I don't think people lost respect for his musical prowess. Now, Flo's a little bit younger, and he lived in a different country, so it makes a little bit more sense. But, you know, there was nothing conclusive about any of the things that was ever brought up against Mike. So it's hard to fucking say. I think it only really affected the younger people who may have not have been Michael Jackson fans in the first place. Because I'm 34 years old, and none of that shit mattered to me a damn. You know, like if it was been able to been proven 100%, then we'd be having a different conversation. But that music meant everything. That music still means everything to me. I love that music. Always will.
I mean, my dad was always like, he had another operation, and then the thing with his nose. And yeah, I was like, should I care?
Right. Like, who cares?
Okay,
I like his music, not what his face looks like.
Exactly.
But to be fair, all of it was part of the package. Everything sold. A lot of people made a lot of money off of the weird shit that Michael Jackson did. A lot of people.
Yeah, they did.
Still making money. Still.
I read in the chat that one of Queen's major hits was Freddie Mercury just said before releasing it, I don't want to release this song. It's not, I don't like it. And Michael was the one who said, come on, release it. It's a great song.
Do you know which song it was?
Yeah, let me scroll up. Where was it?
I can believe that though. And if Michael Jackson tells you your song is great, put it out.
It was Another One Bites the Dust.
Oh no shit! Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
a great song. I love that song.
To quote him, and another thing about Jackson, if it wasn't for him, Queen wouldn't have had their only American #1 hit, Another One Bites the Dust. Michael had to beg Freddie to release it.
Well, and you also guys know this. I didn't even know this. I've never heard this fucking song. But what I didn't know was Queen had fucking Mike sing on a motherfucking song. Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson have a song together. There must be more to life than this. I've never heard this song. I've never heard it. It's one of 3 unreleased tracks from an upcoming compilation album. When was this posted? This is from 2014. So this has been out for a few years now. Yeah, they did a duet together on a fucking Queen album. It's called There Must Be More Than Life. There must be more to life than this. I kind of want to fucking play it and just take the copyright hit.
Might as well risk it.
Fucking thinking about it. God damn, that's crazy. I got the music video. I'm going to listen to it as soon as I get off the air. And matter of fact, if you guys want to come over to Discord right after this, I'm going into Discord. I'm going to listen to this song. You guys can all hit 3, 2, 1 play with me and we'll all listen to it together.
Yeah.
Because I want to listen to it.
That's pretty cool.
Flo, you got anything else for us?
No, that's it.
All right, man. Greatly appreciate. Great call, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah, super good call, man.
Let's bring an aspiring musician. Someone who's far too young to really understand the scope of Michael Jackson, but I'm sure has been inspired in some way. Let's bring in Wolf Girl. Wolf Girl, you're live with that on Dave and Real Talk Men from Messiah. Welcome to the playlist. What do you got? Wolfie. Sort it out, mate. Sort it out. Let's bring in
Let's get Mystic.
Yeah, that's what I'm bringing in. Let's bring in the one, the only, the sexy Mystic. You're live dead on Dave Real Talk.
Part of your harem.
No, Mystic. Yeah, I think Mystic is a part of my harem.
No, I'm the. I'm not a part.
Oh, that's right. She's my side hoe. That's right.
I'm the side hoe.
Yeah, she's my side hoe. I forgot about that. She's separate from the
I
harem.
am an independent hoe. You cannot. You cannot.
Mystic is it's about to be my main.
I had to create another day of the week, so I had a spot, and she's my side hoe, so it's good.
Hey. Well, hi.
What you got, baby girl?
Well, Real Talk told me to check out the playlist live stream, and here I am. And wow, believe it or not, it's about Michael Jackson.
Yes, it is.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you this much. He was the biggest part of my childhood. Back when if you couldn't afford the like medium sized iPods with the scroll wheels, you know, you had like the iPod shuffles that are like literally half of that.
You're so young. I had cassettes. I had fucking cassettes. Oh my god, my side hoe is so young. Goddamn. It's all right. Please continue. iPod shuffle. Talk about the iPod shuffle.
No, I had like a boombox with CDs. We also had cassette tapes in our house too. My dad is hella old. So like, I'm not saying that's like, oh, he's like 60. No, my dad just turned 77 a couple weeks ago.
Whoa.
Your dad had you when he was fucking 60.
Yeah.
Wow,
59.
He was still going. Good shit.
Good on him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of like older music and like from the 80s, from the 50s, hella like
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I was basically raised on like 80s and 90s music, and Michael was huge. I think when I first discovered YouTube, I was like mostly looking into music, and I found a couple of Michael's music videos, and that's what like got me hooked. I bought like 20 songs, just loaded them all up on my iPod shuffle, and just like blasted them whenever I was in recess, and I'm like, yes.
Nice.
Like, and something iconic that I just thought of whenever discussing like a song about Michael's, whenever you mention like the title, there can never be any moment where like no one doesn't start bursting out into song, like just singing the chorus.
That's true. That is
That's
like
very true.
that is that iconic. When I think it was I don't remember who mentioned They Don't Really Care About Us. I just literally started busting out singing.
That's Real's favorite song.
That's
Real's favorite song by Michael.
That's my favorite song.
It's a great fucking song.
That is a great song. Speaking of favorite song, what's your favorite Michael Jackson song, Mystic?
Oh shit. That is a tough one.
It changes the day of the week with me. You know, it could be it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was very hard.
I'm thinking of the music video, but I can't remember the name.
What was the music video about?
I think it was in like this old abandoned haunted mansion, and there's like a bunch of ghosts were coming at him.
You mean zombies?
Ghost? No, he has a song called Ghost.
And it was a haunted mansion?
Yeah, it was like a haunted mansion, and then it was like this, like a bunch of ghosts just start coming at him. Yeah, that was a good one. I remember watching that music video a lot when I was a kid. And
yeah, that's another song that's also like the people sleep on that song. That's a really good song.
Yeah, people sleep on that song.
Yeah, it was called Ghosts. Yeah, it was called Ghosts.
Yep.
Kind of crazy.
That was a good one. And They Don't Really Care About Us. Since I felt like I was such an outcast in my school, They Don't Really Care About Us was my like anthem.
Right, exactly. That's my anthem too. Exactly. It's probably the same. You know what though? I think it was because of the same thing you just said. I just felt like an outcast, and that song, I feel like that song talks to the people. You know, kind of like the misfits, the outcast.
Oh yeah.
So, cool.
Like not only that, but it like had like the political side too. Like the main part of the music video was everyone just like beating at a fence and just police and everything. So like
Mike was never he was never afraid to make a statement. You know,
hell yeah.
As for as many things that he's got as far as not being public about certain things and all of that, he was fearless with his music. Absolutely fucking fearless.
Yeah, he was.
If he could start a revolution with his music, he would.
Oh God.
Honestly, he would. Like, let's overthrow the government and let me make this song to like get an uprising. Hell yeah, he would, and everyone would be in the streets in 0.5 seconds.
He was probably one of those at the height of his power. At the height of his power? I mean, like standing on top of a fucking UFO at the halftime show at the Super Bowl type height of his power? You're 100% right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I'm down. I'll be right there. Let's go, Mike.
Come on, Michael. Let's overthrow whoever.
Let's bash up some cars. I've seen you beat up some cars before. Fuck it. Let's do it. Remember that music video where he beat up the car and then he turned into a panther? Everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah. Why was Mike always turning into shit? It's like
he did turn into a fucking panther.
It was so fucking, I love it. And I like the weirdness never bothered me, but he beats the fuck out of a car at the end of a music video that turns into a panther.
Yeah, what music is and turns into a fucking panther? I remember. I was like, whoa.
Super Tobes with a $5 donation. I was unsub and didn't get the notice for the stream. Fuck. Well, thank you very much, Super Tobes. I appreciate that donation. Thank you very much. Welcome back, Super Tobes. How you doing, buddy? You missed the entire Michael Jackson show. Unbelievable.
I mean, he can rewatch it. But...
He could. It's on demand. Now, you said this was your first time listening to the playlist. What do you think of it?
Oh, honestly, like, I thought this interaction between you and Real Talk is great. Just constantly just going on and on and on about the music and how it makes it feel and what it did. Like, honestly, this is a great show.
Let me ask you this follow-up on that. If we're going to continue to do theme episodes, and by the way, we were already talking about a wrestling theme episode. What would you...
Get me on there. Get me on there because I am the enthusiast of themes. Honestly, I'm not going to... Literally, you can ask anybody in my family. Dave, this is going to be a shocker to you. No, it might not. When I was a kid, I used to listen to like a handful of WWE themes on repeat for when I slept in my sleep.
I do it. I do. Yeah. I still do it every now and then. I'm the same way.
I used to do WWE Volume 2.
Yep.
It's my favorite one. I used to listen to it all the time. It had everybody's shit on there. DX, Stone Cold, The Rock.
They always had good music. I was telling Jade's not a big wrestling fan. I told her the other day. I was saying to her, I was like, wrestling. The reason why I love wrestling so much is because it's got everything you could possibly want: theater, costumes, amazing music, violent artistry. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything you could possibly want. It has. So it's a big one.
I'm thinking we might do this next week, man.
I'm thinking you might be right. We might have to just pop it hard next week. Because
we might have to do it next week. It might be wrestling things.
Please let me co-host.
Well, not a no, Real Talk, man, but we will take you as the first caller and we'll give you extended time. I can give that for you. Because Real Talk and I are gonna have a lot to say about this. And if we bring in a third person, it's just gonna make things very, very difficult. But we will have you on absolutely first caller, and you know what? We might even put you on camera if you get all dialed up for us.
Oh, I will. If you want, I will.
Yeah.
Yes, we do want. Yes, we do.
Very much want. Yes.
I will get on camera. I will pop into the Skype call whenever you need me.
Fucking A, right. That sounds like a date to us.
Hell yeah.
All right, baby girl. You got anything else for us?
No. Show's amazing. I'm down for next week. And Michael Jackson is the GOAT.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for calling, Mister. Thank you.
No problem.
Why are you trying to take all my hoes, man?
Bro, no, you can't have Mystic, bro. You got Jade. Mystic is mine. Fuck that. I can only stand by so much while you claim all of them. Jade.
I can't help it, man. I just I get needy. I love them all so much, man. I love them all so much. They're all so fucking wonderful. You don't understand. No one's touched me in a long time, man. No, all right, guys. So we're gonna take one more call.
Next week I won't have a show, guys. Wait, next week.
No, man, because if there's any person in this world that I'd share with, it'd be you. You're my brother, man. Share, man. That was some creepy ass shit. Okay, so check it out. We're gonna take one more caller, and then we're gonna get up out of here. But stick around to the end because we got a real special treat for you guys. Yes, a couple announcements I want to make. We're going to end the show with Real Talk's one of his latest songs, one of his greatest hits, War Games. We're going to end it with War Games. So if you haven't heard it, stick around to the end. You're going to hear it now. Also, if you have songs that you want highlighted, you don't have to wait until next week's episode because I'm going to start putting together a little bit of a playlist for the playlist. And I'm going to release it of independent songs in the middle of the week, probably 3-4 days from now, I'm going to put it out, and I'm just going to put it on the channel, and you can have a song. Maybe I'll do 3 to 5 songs and just release it as that, and you guys can submit your songs to me or Real Talk, and if we like it, we'll throw it on, and you can get highlighted right here on the playlist with none of us talking.
That's pretty cool.
Just about your music.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, by the way, guys. I'm sure you guys know, if you're an inspiring artist like I am, any opportunity to get your music kind of heard out there, that's really cool. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to thank Dave, because that was Dave's idea. So thanks, Dave, from me and all the inspiring artists out there. Seriously.
Creators, man. It's all about creating. I love it more than anything else. Everything else. All right, let's bring in Santa Claus. Final call of the night. Santa Claus, who is a musician himself, making a lot of great music. We featured him last week, and now I'm using that very song that we featured as an outro for my Pokemon channel because it's fucking nice. What's up, Santa Claus? Welcome to the place.
Not much. Not much. How about you guys? How you doing?
Pretty good. We're talking about Mike. Can't be too bad.
Good. I've got 3 favorite songs with regards to Mike. It's probably Thriller, Beat It, and Ghost. Those are my 3 favorites of all time.
Nice.
They're probably my favorites.
Ghost is very underrated. I really think Ghost, a lot of people like that song, but it's kind of underrated. It didn't get as much play as it should have, I think.
No. Yeah, I completely agree.
I don't really know it.
It's so good.
I don't really know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so good. Jeez. But one song that is in... I was going to say one thing that's in my playlist at the moment, surprisingly, is 3 Days of Grace, Pain.
Okay.
I don't know whether you've heard that one before.
Put it in
or not.
Put in the link drop, man. Put in the link drop.
Yeah, I will do that. It's quite a good song. Relates very well to most people.
Oh, I definitely got to hear that.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Oh.
You got anything else for us, Mr. Santa?
No, not much today. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for helping me out quite a lot with regards to my music and promotion and stuff like that.
Helping us out, man. It's our pleasure.
Yeah, and you did a good job, bro. Like from one artist to another, you did a really good job, man.
Thanks. Really I'm glad you did.
All right, Xantha, thank you so much, man. Keep making that music, and we're gonna feature some more of it if it's up to par. But now you've got something to live up to, man. You've made some good shit. I'm gonna hold you to that standard now. So you keep bringing that hot shit, and I'll make sure to continue to feature it. All right?
Okay, dude.
All right, man. Have a good night. We'll talk to you later.
You too.
Woo! Motherfucker, we went almost 2 hours. And what did I say to you before we started this show?
Really?
Yes.
You said I'm not trying to 2 hours. We're probably not gonna go 2 hours, bro.
I said to him, I was like, dude, we ain't doing 2 hours. I feel like shit. But you know what? Second the camera came on, second we started talking about Mike, I just pain went away.
That's crazy, Dave. It was another 2 hours. We just said we didn't want to do that. Wow.
Fucking crazy, man. So there it is.
Well, you know what though? That's the effect that Michael Jackson had on people, man. I mean, I could talk about that. I could talk about his music all day. I just think he was a genius, a really musical genius, and I think he connected with a lot of people. So. Yep.
There you go. Anything that we might have missed on Mike, or anything else you want to feature before we get up out of here and do yo thing? Because we're gonna go listen to War Games. Anything else though that we may have missed? Tell the kids where they found you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, look, you guys, first, like I said, I want to thank everybody, like Jade and Mystic and everybody else. Like, I got so much love from this show that we did the first 2 on Twitter and stuff. So everybody that's been hitting me up, sending me songs to listen to on Twitter, that's been awesome. And I love music, so keep sending me songs and shit like that, guys. I really like that. Everybody's been really supportive of my music, and it's just been really cool, so I really appreciate it. And if you guys want to find me, you can always check out my website. It's www.realtalktheTruth.com. Or you can find me on YouTube. All the links are below on Dave's channel. So I just thanks so much, guys. And by the way, guys, this is kind of telling everybody I got a new video coming out. I'm not gonna say when. The shooting starts next month, and it's a really cool one. A couple people have heard a sneak peek of it, and they like it a lot. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite songs I've done.
I heard it, and it's fire. And it's fucking fire. Oh, I'm excited.
Oh man, I am too. I can't wait. So just want to say, stay tuned, guys. We got some cool shit.
Fucking A, right. We got some cool stuff for you right now. Don't go nowhere. Go ahead and relax and listen to one of my favorite songs currently from Real Talk Metaphor Messiah, the one and only War Games. We will see you next time right here on the playlist next Thursday, each and every single Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, it's the wrestling theme spectacular. Check everything that's going on Dead on Dave Productions and Dead on Dave Pokemon. Yes, I do Pokemon as well. Go over to my new channel. Check it out. We're almost at 300 subscribers. Go be a part of it because we're taking over the Pokemon world, just like the playlist is taking over the music world. We will see you next time. Keep it copious, folks. Remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Take us home, Real Talk.
Sir.
Time for War Games.
War Games. Yes. They feel my pain every time I spit. For real. Legacy for life. Let's go. I'm Real Talk, the metaphor messiah. The one that took them to the truth, I swear I ain't a liar. The one that taught them how to grow and use their brain. Get that money, spread your message for they label you insane. See, me, I learned to think so they could never PC. Fuck about the hate and blind to it like Stevie. Represent the people, I ain't changing my demeanor. The revolution, yeah, that's why we beat up John Cena. Hate me cause I'm wonderful and I will never conform. I be kicking ass and you'll be quick to catch the encore. Bitch, I'm half human, half machine like a cyborg. Fight for what is right and that is something I will die for. Curses to your government, got heroes taking supplements. The 1% is loving it. Heard me, I ain't stuttering. Blast on you nicks and I got cash on you bitches. Drop a mag on you bitches and I'm down for the mission. Let's go. They try and kill off what we represent. You got a problem when I'm saying we can do it big. Real talk, they gon' know the name. Cause if you step up in this cage, then it's War Games. They try and kill off what we represent. You got a problem when I'm saying we can do it big. Real talk, they gon' know the name. Cause if you step up in this cage, then it's War Games. It's time to stand up. Ladies, put your hands up. Wanna lock me up, but I'm too smart for they handcuffs. Got a bad bitch, she swear to God that she be feeling me. I told her speak the truth, she told me fuck Trump and Hillary. Woman of my dreams, I swear to God it's going down. Got the competition out commission with my verbs and nouns. Be the one to end the chatter. From the ghetto, got a ladder. Now I'm high as fucking Saturn, screaming all lives matter. Let's go. I snapped again, sorry, I just do that shit. Gotta break the chains and change the game like Ch-Ch-Chango did. Real talk the truth, you ain't gon' take away my belt. If you don't believe my words, come do the research for yourself. With this hip-hop, I'm King Kong. Quarter pocket, 8-ball. 2 girls, both Chinese, I call them that ping pong. Told y'all I'm super nice, no skinny jeans, I'm super tight. Victory, I know I'm right. Last words, good night. They try and kill off what we represent. You got a problem when I'm saying we can do it big. Real talk, they gon' know the name. Cause if you step up in this cage, then it's War Games. They try and kill off what we represent. You got a problem when I'm saying we can do it big. Real talk, they gon' know the name. Cause if you step up in this cage, then it's War Games. Yeah! Real talk is back. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus on the beat, you dig? Legacy for life. Tommy C, SFTP, bitch. DOD, what up? Hey, y'all got my eyesight back. I ain't never let them stop me again. It's real talk, you know? They feel my pain every time I spit. 420.